Why you don't need to worry about taking inspired action and how does it apply in the context of manifestation. Hey, I'm Dan. I talk about manifesting, conscious creation, intentional living, all that good stuff. Glad you found me. And today I want to quickly go over the topic of inspired action because it's such a common phrase used in the manifestation community. When you first start getting involved in manifesting, you hear about inspired action a lot and how you want to avoid taking, forced action and you want to take inspired action. So a very common question is, well, how do I know that I'm not just forcing action and try to force the 3D reality to conform and change into getting my manifestation and its struggle versus taking inspired action, which feels great, which feels fun, and you just kind of do it and it just happens and it flows. Well, here's the difference. When you are taking forced action, you are coming from a place of need or want. You're not coming from a state of already having what it is that you want, right? So essentially manifesting, remember, just to remind you, manifesting is simply about identifying what it is that you want, just deciding on that and embodying that state of already having it. When you are taking forced action, you are still coming from a place of lack. When you are taking inspired action, you are taking it from a place of already having it, already received it. That embodiment feeling should be at the core. It's that inner gut feeling that just kind of tells you, that inner voice that tells you, hey, go do this. And you just do it. So this is why you don't have to worry. This is the whole point of the question. Why don't you need to worry about taking inspired action? It's because you will naturally do it. It's not you identifying that this action is inspired in that moment before you take it. You only realize that it's inspired action after you take it. It's actually crazy how in my life I've taken inspired action over and over and over again, and it's often after the fact that I look back and I'm like, that's the inspired action. Connecting the dots backwards, that's the inspired action that led me to this place. I couldn't see it at the time that my action there was going to lead to this, to lead to this, to lead to this. I couldn't see it, but it ended up leading to the manifestation that I was manifesting. And I couldn't even connect all the dots. It just kind of flowed. Life kind of just magically opened in front of me. Every single time I've taken inspired action, I didn't realize I was doing it until after the fact. And that is essentially why you don't need to worry about taking inspired action. If in the moment that you're about to take that action and you are having that decision inside your head, is this inspired action or is this not inspired action? Am I forcing this or is this inspired? If you're struggling with that, most likely that is not inspired action. That's you coming from a place of lack, thinking that you need to do a particular something in order to get the thing that you want to manifest. Remember, you need to come from a place of embodying that desire that you want, already living as if you already have it. When you're in that place, you will naturally take action in the direction of that. You can't even connect those dots together. Not to your logical brain, not to your logical mind. Oftentimes, what's going to happen is you're just going to get that inner state, inner gut feeling that tells you, go do this. It could be as random as go to a particular shop, take a different route home, walk down a different street. It could be as simple as that, or it can be a little bit more complex than that. It doesn't really matter. It's not your job, remember, to worry about how it's all going to happen. You don't need to connect the dots. All you need to do is when you get that, just follow that gut feeling. And it's going to happen quickly. It's just kind of like an inner state of feeling. And you'll know it. It's what a lot of people call intuition or gut feeling, as I mentioned before. So you don't need to worry about taking inspired action because it will naturally happen. What you do need to be aware of, however, is when you are in a state of being that is not what that has the manifestation, that is when a lot of times you're going to start thinking of what I need to do, what action do I need to take in order to get my manifestation. That's what you have to be aware of. If you can let that go and just continue to embody and be in the state of being of already having your manifestation, that is when you're going to naturally just take whatever action it is. It's just going to flow in and it's just going to make sense, especially even if it doesn't make sense in that moment, it could be completely random. And that's why synchronicities happen. That's why you're going to meet people or meet a stranger that somehow puts you, they might say a particular phrase that puts something in your mind and it plants a seed in there, and then that offshoots into an idea that allows you to take action in a different direction, and it will just magically unfold. There's so many different ways. There's no point in trying to, think of, plan ahead and see like, is this going to align with manifesting? It really doesn't matter. You just need to trust in yourself. live your life as long as you are coming from a place where you are embodying that state of being that already has the manifestation that you want. Is it practice? Yes, absolutely. It does take practice because we are so conditioned in our society when we're growing up that you need to take action, you need to work hard, you need to hustle. Now, if you want to do all those things, and you want to hustle, and you take hard, work hard, and that is your belief in order to get your manifestation. I mean, go right ahead because there's nothing that's valid too, right? Some people really enjoy putting in a lot of hard work and then reaping the results of that. But there is an easier way to do this, and that's simply to live your life, be patient, allow it to unfold, and make sure that you are embodying, going through life from that state of being that already has your manifestation. Allow it to all flow in. That is why I'm going to say it again, you don't need to worry about taking inspired action because you will realize that it's inspired action after the fact. And you might not even realize it until like several months later and you look back and you're like, oh yeah, every single step along the way that led me to this place where now I do have the manifestation, those were all inspired action that I didn't have to really think too hard about or force myself to do. So just remember this. Trust in yourself, trust in your gut. You know what you got to do. You don't need to think and contemplate. If you are thinking and contemplating too much about it, it's probably not inspired action. Take a step back, get into your state of being of already having what it is that you want, and just let it flow. That's all I have for you today. And yeah, have fun.